Hello, this is another Namfoodle draft. I am drafting 3 times Innistrad, and the first pack here is looking pretty awesome. I haven't played the Blasphemous Act yet, and I really want to give that a try. I hear some pretty nice things about it. 9 mana is pretty steep, but if you're getting a good number of creatures with it, it shouldn't cost that much. You shouldn't be paying for it full price. There's a whole lot of good white in this pack. There's the Spectral Rider and the Rebuke. Both of those are solid picks, and the Fox at the bottom. So I'll keep an eye out on those. Let's see, that's pretty good. I might pick that. There's some more really good white here, but like I said, white's boring. I'm going to try to stay away from it as best I can. Black-red is something I haven't played before, and I haven't tried the Reaper either. So I'm going to give that a try. The Morbid, honestly, on some of these rares, it really doesn't matter. Most of the time, I'm just going to be casting this as a 6/6 flyer, and I'm happy with that. That's fine. 6 mana, 6/6 flying. There's not going to be much beating that in the air, and that's one of the bad ones, so I'm not going to pick that. Here, the Rakish Heir is the pick, pretty much. 3 mana for 2/2 is pretty meh. You're not going to want to pick that usually, but the +1/+1 counters give bonuses to all vampires, and if you get a couple vampire interlopers later in the draft, it gets pretty nasty. Rakish Heir, and even just on his own, 2/2 with the possibility of getting even bigger is pretty nice. I'm going to try to go into red-black here. The Harvest Pyre is kind of a nice burn spell to go with that. Cloistered Youth is a really solid attacker, though, so I might end up having to go with white if I keep getting past this. And yeah, I don't think Harvest Pyre is reliable enough, given the cards I have so far, that I'll be able to pick it. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Midnight Haunting. Instant speed tokens is always nice. Throws off your opponent's combat math, and they have flying, so they do have attacking potential as well. So it's just all around a good card. Here we go again with the white, the Pure Bloods. Oh no, that's I always confuse that one with the Sentry, the Thraben Sentry, which is pickable. Pure Bloods I don't think is very pickable. Here I think I'm going to go with the Invisible Stalker. Nothing in the colors that I have so far is any good. Infernal Plunge. Demon Mill Hellbark might be nice, but not in the deck that I'm trying to build. Usually you want stuff that likes to be sacrificed, and I haven't seen any of that so far. There's another good white card. It's not as good as some of the other flyers available, but it's still a flyer, and flyers are good. But I think I'd much rather go with the red. I kind of like the Rakish Heir kind of theme, so I'm going to go with the Bloodcrazed Neonate. I'm going to try to push myself in that kind of aggro direction, pick up some really fast swingers. And here I got to make a decision. Do I want to keep going with the black and go for the Ghoul Raiser Ghoul Caller's Chant? And I think the answer is no. I don't have any zombies. If I'm going with red, I'm going to end up with a tribal vampire theme, and I'm not going to end up with too many zombies. Zombies are mostly blue and black, so Ghoul Raiser is not going to be good in this deck if I end up with that. So I want to push myself into red-blue or some sort of blue combo if I keep getting past like Think Twice and stuff like that. So I got to decide here. I want either the Geistcatcher's Rig or the Think Twice. And if I'm kind of going aggro, I kind of want the card advantage more. I'll probably pick up the other stuff later. Geistcatcher's Rigs will get passed occasionally because they're pretty mediocre. They're a staple in your deck. You're going to play them, but they're not a high pick, I don't think, unless you're really afraid of flying or something like that. And here we go. I want either the Stitch. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Riot Devils because they're just a solid creature. I like having just bodies sometimes. Stitcher's Apprentice is kind of unreliable at times, so I try to stay away from it whenever I can. Even as a Morbid Enabler, paying that extra 2 mana is pretty steep. And Runic Repetition I've been pretty excited about. I don't like it from a design standpoint. Treats the Exile pile as a second graveyard. but as a card, it's pretty neat. There's enough flashback that you can bring back that it's useful. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting past some pretty good blue, so I'll pick up some good auras for the Invisible Stalker later. Curiosity is kind of nice to stick on them, and I'll find some. Yeah, I'm still not sure what my second color should be. I was kind of hoping it'd be red, but I haven't been past too much of that. Well, we'll see about that. With cards like Silver, Inlaid Dagger, and Claustrophobia, I shouldn't be too worried. Here I'm going to go with the Claustrophobia. I'm not sure if I'm going to need equipment. Usually you want to pick up equipment if you're planning on running a whole bunch of weenie creatures. And Invisible Stalker is really the only thing I would want to stick the dagger on right now, which would be a pretty nice combo, but I'm sure I'll get past equipment for the Stalker later, and I don't want to pick up the Stalker stuff unless I have more Stalkers. Just loading up just that one guy's pretty risky in case I don't draw him. Here I got to decide whether I want the Rakish Heir or the Mauler, and so far I've been pretty much all blue, so I'm going to stick with the stuff that I know. I might get past some good red like this pack, holy cow, and I'll grab it. The Watch Keep is very nice. 3 mana for a 1/5 blocker is pretty decent just right there. Even if he doesn't transform, he's a nice blocker. And usually what ends up happening is he helps stall out your opponent so they stop casting spells. And as soon as they do that, it turns into a 5/5 beater and swings in for a whole bunch of damage. Alright, so we got another Rakish Heir here. So maybe I should start picking these up, I don't know. But I like the Lantern Spirit. Solid blocker, kind of has like pseudo regenerate with that bounce ability. It's really hard to take out. Geist Flame's also pretty solid removal. It takes out cards like Bloodcrazed Neonate. I didn't think it would be that good because of all the 3 toughness creatures like Riot Devils. But there are creatures that it can kill. I'm going to go with the Rakish Heir though because I just trust that body a whole lot more than the Geist Flame. I'm pretty sure the Rakish Heir is going to do work. I'm not entirely sure about the Geist Flame. And Looter's always nice. That's a high pick. Bloodcrazed Neonates will get passed to me. I'm not too worried about that. There's a bunch of cards that are kind of like you like having them in your deck, but you know you're going to get past them, so you don't worry about them. Bloodcrazed Neonate is one of them. Furor of the Bitten is another. If you aren't in that archetype, you're not going to pick it, so it ends up getting passed to you pretty much all the time. I'm still not sold on the Rage Thrower, so I'm not going to pick that. I need more bodies, honestly, so I'm going to go with the human guy here. I think I'm tempted to pick up the Think Twice, just to kind of go with a flashback theme, but I don't trust myself yet. I want to pick up as many creatures as I can. And holy cow, another Rakish Heir. Let's do that. So I'm looking at a whole bunch of vampires in red, but they'll basically just be bodies because blue doesn't have any vampires. Maybe I'll pick up some more vampires in red. I'm not sure. Rakish Heir, I don't think it's the kind of card like Bloodcrazed Neonate that tables, but I'm getting past them, so I'm not going to complain. Here we got some pretty solid green here, but I'm going to pick up the Traitor's Blood because that's another solid card. There's usually what ends up happening is you take their best blocker, and in other sets it's not usually relevant. I try to stay away from threaten effects, but in this set it seems to work. I don't really know how to describe it other than it just does. And that table, wow, I'll pick up a dagger, sure. So I'm looking at, yeah, that's a nice equipment to add to my deck. I guess I'll just I'll keep with the schedule here. Just pick up as many solid creatures as I can, beaters, that kind of thing. I don't really have an interest in the Pierced Heart. I think I'm coming down on the side of it not being good. Maybe if you wanted to make a casual constructed deck out of it or something, but it just doesn't have an effect on the board itself, so I don't like it. Don't like using it. I picked up Furor of the Bitten there because I'm pretty sure I can stick that on one of my creatures. By turn 4, if you drop a Rakish Heir turn 3 and the next turn you put a Furor on it, your opponent's going to have a whole lot of trouble dealing with it. you might get 2 for 1, but if you're playing aggro, you're not too worried about that card advantage. You're more of the just chuck everything at your opponent strategy. So I've got 3 of these now, so I'm gonna try to pick up creatures as best I can, because it seems that I've got the creature buffing pretty much taken care of here. So now I just need stuff to stick the buffs on. And now I gotta decide, do I want the... I have either the bomb here or the burn spell. And neither one's going to table. And Makeshift is not going to go in my deck. There's just no way I'm fitting in a 3rd color if I'm going to be playing this kind of fast beatdown deck. So I think I'm going to go with the Brimstone Volley. Feels like crap to be passing that, but I just can't find a way to fit that in the deck that I'm using. And as usual, Juggernaut's great. 4 mana for a Lava Axe is always nice, and if your opponent blocks it, then it untaps and swings in again. So it's I'm pretty sure it goes in most decks. I can't think of too many archetypes where you wouldn't want a Galvanic Juggernaut, so yeah, it's kind of nice. Here I got some other goodies. I got the Scourge. I haven't tried that one yet. I haven't seen it in action. I'm not sure if it's any good. Torch is solid removal, and the Mauler is solid creature, so I'm not sure which one I want. I'm going to go with the most color neutral one, because the Mauler I'm pretty sure I will get past. Just calling people's bluffs here, because if you're not in blue, you probably won't be playing that. You're not going to be splashing for it, basically. Mask of Absent is the other card that I'd pick here, but I've pretty much got the creature buffs handled, so I'm not too worried about it right now. I wouldn't mind having it if I have a couple more creatures in this pack or something like that. But yeah. Nightbird's Clutches I've heard good things about, but I don't trust it too much. I don't like that kind of ability, but it's helped lots of people get there. So here we got another Rakish Heir, but Murder of Crows wins that fight. 5 mana 4/4 flying, always good. No matter what text on there, you're gonna want it. Sends your vampire, the Vigilance Angel, whatever you call that thing. They're all good. And another Mauler and another Neonate. So I want to decide. Let's see. I've got 2 Maulers, so that might be all I need. I wouldn't mind having a couple early drops like the Neonate. But late game, they're pretty much blank. You don't use a Neonate late game. So I'm going to go with the Mauler. Make sure that I'm stable. I don't want to be drawing cards late game that I can't use. And neither of these are any good. Delver of Secrets, I've been kind of picking up creatures so far, so it's no good. Sometimes if you pick up a whole bunch of instants and sorcery, he is useful. Just not in the deck that I'm building. And I'm just going to hate draft the Ghoul here. I don't know what that's doing there. I've got creature buffs, otherwise I'd pick up Spectral Flight. But you really shouldn't be seeing an Abattoir Ghoul this late. It's staple in your black deck. No matter what you're doing with your black, you're playing the Ghoul. He's a zombie, so he fits into that deck. He's a solid body for 3/2 first strike. Will fight most things, and it's got a little bit of lifelink there. None of these are any good. No, I'm not using any of these, so I'll just pick up the equipment. Maybe I'll find a use for it. Maybe I'll stick it on the Stalker. Who knows? And another Traitorous Blood would be kind of nice. I think I'll go with that. I'm not too worried about getting stuff in the graveyard, so Stitcher's Apprentice isn't that impressive to me. Otherwise, I'd pick it. I'm still trying to figure out which archetype the Apprentice is useful for. Because it's not good for Morbid, and there are much better things in blue for filling up the graveyard, so I'm not sure where he fits in. And none of these are any good. Let's see. Oh, I should have picked that, shouldn't I have? I don't have any artifact removal. Even if I don't get to flash it back, it's nice to have that Shatter. Alright. The other thing about Nightbird's Clutches is that the deck that I'm building it's got blue in it, so I've kind of got unblockable and flying and stuff like that taken care of. So having stuff that keeps my opponent from blocking isn't that impressive. So the staples in this deck are always going to be the Stalker, the Heron, the Think Twice, Claustrophobia, Mauler. Those are pretty much always going to be in your deck. Let's see. And I might give him a try. I'll see if I have leftovers. I don't really have a use for him. I won't be milling myself that much, so it's basically just going to be a vanilla 2/2. Let's see. Put a bunch of Rakish Heirs in. The Volley, Trader's Blood, Other Trader's Blood, and the equipment. That leaves us with 23. How's the curve looking? It's mostly at 3 with a bit of 4. Going up to 5. I might be able to go with 16 lands. I think that might be what I'll do. I don't think I want to splash for white just for that. So I'm going to put in one for... if I don't like how it plays, I might put the Riot Devils in instead. Or the... Oh, I should put in a Spectral Flight, shouldn't I? That'd be fun to stick on a Rakish Heir. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Where did I put that? Because it's the same power bonus, just a little bit more mana. And the color balance is mostly blue, so I'll put in 9 islands, 7 swamp, 7 mountains, and a little bit in the sideboard. Alright, I'll leave in the show notes how I did. Whether this is something you should imitate or not. I haven't tried red-blue yet, so this should be pretty interesting.